Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Christian. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, good day. Wherever you are, whenever you're seeing this, I hope you are good. So guys, today we're going to be talking about how to use tarot to strengthen your intuition. A couple of videos back, I talked about how I am no longer using tarot cards in my sessions because I no longer have to, okay? Tarot cards were the first intuitive tool I picked up, and I truly believe that me trusting my gifts, me allowing my gifts to grow, me depending on my gifts, me building the connection that I have with my gifts is definitely in part due to the tarot cards, the tools that I had at the time when I was beginning my journey. A lot of you told me a lot of different things about how you feel about your own tarot journey under that video, and some of you mentioned that you have been feeling called to trust God's voice more, trust your intuition more, and use and rely on the tarot cards less. So today we're going to be talking about some ways that you can allow your interaction with the tarot cards to help you know what's going on for you mentally. Now in this video, we're not going to get into how to use tarot or anything like that. My self-led tarot course is still available, so if you guys are interested in using tarot or specifically learning tarot in a way that's about, harnessing your gifts, spiritual maintenance, connecting with God, connecting with your intuition, check down below in the description box so you can get into the self-led tarot course. It's basically a tarot course that I've been doing as a group. I created a recorded version, so it is 3+ hours of recorded footage. You get a comprehensive tarot guide that is a PDF file that I email to you whenever you get your ticket to the course. So whenever you get your ticket, you get your guide that has a symbolism, different card spreads, maintenance that you can do, meditations that you can do, things to keep in mind, everything and then some that you're going to need to start your tarot journey and to keep it going and to help you elevate in those gifts. And also there's a 21-day tarot challenge in the guide and a guided meditation for your intuition and to help you release blockages in the tarot course. That's the last session that we do together. It's a guided meditation. And when you purchase a class, you get access to that material forever, so you can always refresh it, you can always get into it. And once you finish, you can hit me up with an email and I will send you your certificate of completion whenever you go through the course, because again, it's on you to, go through it at your own pace and come to the end of the course and send me a message and I will send you your certificate of completion. And I've been sending those out for you that have been taking the course and completing it. I love the course. I put a lot of time and effort into it. So if you're wanting to learn how to read tarot, definitely recommend getting into that self-led tarot course. We also talk about how to build your own personal tarot routine or start a business in tarot if that's something that you're interested in. So we literally cover everything in the course. Now we're going to be talking about ways that you can use tarot to just strengthen your intuition. You don't even necessarily need to know how to read tarot to do this. So as I made a list, so let's get into it. If you guys want to book other sessions with me, connect with me, get into the podcast, the book club, all of that, check down below. Y'all know where it's at in the description box, okay? And of course, this is a crochet top made by me. I'm going to have a photo of it so you guys can see and get into it. I love making crochet pieces. It's something I've always loved to do. So yes, another top that I'm just showing off. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So first things first, you want to use tarot as a catalyst. A lot of times when we're on this journey of strengthening our intuition or finding our gifts, we're looking for the boom, without finding our way to the boom. We just want the boom. We just want to wake up one day and have everything come to us without figuring out what questions to ask, without figuring out how to, make that happen for ourselves. Having a spiritual gift is not about, things just constantly coming on you all day, because no matter who you are, whether you know you're gifted or not, or whether you even have gifts that you connect with or not, because I think we're all gifted in some aspects, right? Discernment can be seen as a gift. People always talk about your intuition and that gut feeling. Those things are gifts. We're literally hardwired to be psychic. We have a nervous system that tells us when we're in danger, that can tell us when somebody's lying. We give off body language that says, I'm lying, I'm telling the truth, I really love you, I don't really mean it. So we're hardwired to be able to read each other and understand each other on a deeper level. Emotion always gets in the way of that, but it's easier than people think to connect with your gifts. Now, again, I have been praying for a spirit of discernment since I was a very young girl. So I would say that's something you definitely want to do just in general. If you want to connect with your gifts, make sure you're praying to God on a regular basis to protect your mind, to give you discernment in what you're doing, and to also strengthen your connection with your intuition, strengthen your connection with His guidance. Make sure that is a prayer that you're saying all the time, because it's very, very easy to be led astray. It's very easy to, let's just get into it. Let's just get into it. So you want to use tarot as a catalyst. Tarot is going to be the thing that unlocks all of this stuff for you. The answers are not going to be in the cards all the time. Half the time, what you get from tarot is way more than what you're seeing in the cards. Way more than what you're seeing in the cards. And you can see so much in how you interact with the cards and how you interpret them, okay? So the first thing I have here is When you first get your deck, or even if this is something that you want to do a little exercise, go card by card. When you're going card by card, ask yourself what you're seeing in each card. Are most of the things that you're seeing bad things? Are you seeing a lot of negativity? Are you, afraid? Is the death card spooking you? Is the tower card spooking you? Is the seven of swords spooking you? And if you're familiar with tarot, then, you're familiar with some of the cards that I'm talking about. A lot of times on tarot cards, you might see something with a lot of swords or something on fire. That doesn't necessarily mean that everything is about to get stabbed up and set ablaze, so I think how we interpret the cards says a lot about what we're feeling. If you're seeing the death card and that makes you put your tarot deck up for the next 3 months, what's causing you to not to not get into that? What's causing you to not say, you know what, let me read into this, let me see what this means, let me pull some more cards. If you have a spirit of fear, if you have a spirit of doubt, insecurity, if you have any fear of going to hell or getting into witchcraft or summoning a demon, if you don't understand your gifts, if you don't understand God like that, and you're getting into tarot, you're going to be met with a lot of confusion, a lot of anxiety. You're not really going to like how it feels. So I think first things first, tarot can let you know where you even are and what connection you have with your intuition. I always have felt like I was psychic, literally, before I even knew what it was. And that's so crazy. I always felt like I was psychic, but then when I actually started working as a psychic, I was like, I don't know how I'm doing this. But I would always say stuff and then it would happen. I would think something in my head and then someone would say it. I would think a song on the radio and then the song would come on the radio. I would think that a situation would end up this way and it would end up this way. Now, a lot of this was a very, very strong sense of discernment. And I always just thought like my sense of discernment is on point. And I started thinking like, dang, if you have a sense of discernment, it low-key is like being psychic, because you know who to trust, you know who's going to do you down bad. And sometimes we deny these things, like we can see these red flags, but we try to ignore them. But that doesn't mean that you didn't see them, So I just really, have always kind of felt like I had some type of knowing, I guess. So when these messages started to connect for me, I was in a space of, let me figure out what this means. I was never in a space of, oh my God, I'm going to die in 7 days, or, oh my God, the devil is after me. I was always in a space of, what does this mean? And I think a lot of times in tarot, we can be met with like a brick wall of our own doubt, our own fear of getting the message wrong or connecting with something spooky. That in itself is a sign that you need to do more protection work, more spiritual maintenance. You need to get back into your connection with God. Start praying more over your gifts and over yourself. That's why I'm never afraid of the cards I pull or anything, in all of my readings. I don't know if I've ever had a reading where I pulled a bunch of reversals or a bunch of maybe negative cards, or cards that maybe symbolize a lot of conflict and somebody didn't get scared. People are always spooked when you pull certain cards, and if you're a reader, or even if you read for yourself, certain cards give you a certain energy, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think it's important to ask yourself how you relate to the cards. So take some time, go one by one through all of your cards. What is the vibe it's giving you? What do you feel overall about tarot? What does tarot represent to you? Does it represent a way for you to strengthen your intuition? Does it represent a door to another realm? Does it represent you getting all the answers in the world? What does it represent for you? And make sure that you are being mindful of what that means. A lot of times we just ask the question and we don't pick it apart and pick it apart and pick it apart. When you sit down and say, I want to know what's going on, and you pull a tarot spread and that's the answer, you can't close off that and be like, okay, whatever, or, oh, that's spooky, or, oh, I don't want to look into that, because that's the answer. But everything is a question, really, when you're on your journey of strengthening your intuition. Because to be very intuitive, and I know this kind of goes hand in hand with my inquisitive video. Y'all go back and watch that video about being inquisitive that I posted a couple of videos back. But it goes hand in hand. Being able to ask why, being able to ask how, being able to ask, okay, what? What's going on? What is this? What does this mean? Instead of just accepting what you're seeing in the cards, not asking, how it's supposed to show up for you, not really knowing how it's supposed to show up for you, and just carrying on all this energy and being like, oh, I'm scared to love because I pulled the Three of Swords, which is about heartbreak and, pain. But the Three of Swords also talks about learning through the pain. It talks about pain that brings you wisdom. There's no card in the tarot that's negative. There's no card in the tarot that's dark. Any card that may seem dark is because it's letting you know that this is in your life. So is it really that dark? If you pull the devil in tarot and you get so scared you think it's witchcraft, the devil in tarot is telling you about your baby daddy. The devil in tarot is telling you about your lying, stealing best friend. The devil in tarot is telling you about yourself and your inner demons. But the tarot is a witchcraft? Or are you the one with the witchy life? With the darkness everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you're being mindful of what it's bringing up for you? What is this bringing up for you? What is this making you feel? What kind of connection are you having for this? For me, tarot was always like, yes, it was always a confirmation of what I was already thinking. For most of us, it is. And to be honest, if it's a confirmation of something dark, then that's low-key a sign that you're on the right track with tarot, because the chances are you just tapped into something that you didn't even want to see. And the real psychic girlies, the girls with the real gifts, you're going to tap into the messages whether you want them or not. You might be like, I want to know what's next for love. And they're like, you know what's next, leave them. And you're like, you know what, these cards are for me. They actually are for you, So ask yourself, if you do come across something that's you find might be a little rough or a little harsh to digest, why aren't you able to digest that? Why aren't you able to accept that? Because if you want to step into a strong intuition, you're going to know the good and the bad, not just the good. Okay. So first things first, go through the cards and, figure out your relationship with them. Ask yourself how these things typically make you feel. That's going to let you know what the fears are, where the doubts are, and what you need to work on so you can overall accept it. I've gone through a lot of good in my life, a lot of bad, a lot of loss, a lot of embarrassment, a lot of foolery, So I don't really know. Also, I'm just not really afraid of anything. I'm not afraid of getting the death card. I'm just not afraid of I'm just not really afraid of anything, to be honest. And we're going to get into that too, but I'm not afraid of anything. You shouldn't be afraid of anything either. Let's go on. That's going to be the last thing that we get into, how tarot has changed my perspective on life, and how my gifts have changed my perspective on life. That might be a whole separate video I might have to do, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit at the end. So the next thing is asking yourself or just reviewing, how are you trusting the messages? Are you trusting yourself, or are you doubting yourself immediately? And if you are doubting yourself, is it because you're comparing yourself to other people? Is it because you're looking at other readers? What is causing you to doubt yourself or just not really trust the messages? I think this is something that a lot of tarot readers can experience, especially in the beginning of your journey. But really, in any sense, this could let you know, hey, I don't trust myself if I haven't gotten a lot of sleep. I don't trust myself if I had a bad day. I don't trust myself if I'm making bad decisions in my real life. If I feel like I'm not making the greatest choices, I might not be able to trust what I'm saying in the cards. There's always a reason why, Don't just feel what you're feeling. Figure out why. Figure out what's the source of that or what's the root of that. So if you're doubting yourself, do you doubt the cards, or do you just accept them for what they are? If you doubt yourself, do you just say, I shouldn't be doing this, I'm not a good reader? Or do you say, you know what, let me figure out where this doubt is coming from? So if you are experiencing doubt, ask yourself, what have I been dealing with today? What's been popping up for me today? What have I been going through today? Has that been contributing to me second guessing myself? Or is it that I really don't know the cards? Is it that I feel like the cards are my ability? The cards are my gift? Do I think that the cards are doing it, or do I think that I'm doing it? All of these little things that we feel when we're in the space of the cards tells you so much about your intuition. And the more you know about what's blocking you, the more you know about what's making you feel intuitive, what's making you not feel intuitive, the more you'll be able to trust yourself. Like, let's say, for example, you do a career reading and baby, you don't even doubt the message. You're like, all right, money coming, 10 of Pentacles, I'm straight. And then you do a love reading and it says 10 of Cups, great things coming, but you don't believe it, or you're feeling skeptical. That might let you know that you may have some things you might need to unpack in your heart chakra. You may have some grudges you're holding on to. There may be certain things you need to do, And in terms of career, that might be something that you feel comes a little bit easier to you. So the tarot is a direct reflection of what you're experiencing in your own life. Be mindful of that. Be mindful of that. The next thing that you can do, insert tarot into your day however you need to. Create a daily tarot practice. And then allow yourself to just kind of figure out how you feel once you have that daily tarot practice. This is basically going to be letting you see how your energy changes when you connect with your intuition on a more regular level. I feel like when I connect with my intuition on a regular level, I'm more confident. In moments where I'm anxious, I can bounce back a little bit faster. In moments where I'm not sure, I can get clarity a little bit easier versus just kind of letting the doubt spin and spin and spin and spin. I think your intuition is a muscle. I've always said this. It's been years since I've said it, but your intuition is a muscle. You have to practice it and use it. And the more you stretch it and use it and challenge it, the stronger it will be. For example, me starting out my readings with lots of tarot cards, lots of oracle cards. I remember doing a reading one time because I was trying to figure out if I had a soul contract with somebody. I literally probably put like 60 cards. Like my coffee table, I was pulling like card on top of card on top of card. I was like, okay, this is over here, this is over here. I remember the days where I used to have to pull a bunch of cards to get a message. And now I don't have to pull any cards at all, So I think that can be really, really helpful too. Like starting with a bunch, then taking away gradually, giving yourself 6 months, or just, going by your intuition, which is something I've done. I always knew that I wanted to get to this point, but I wasn't really sure how. So you want to be able to trust your intuition through everything, but neither here nor there. Put tarot into your everyday. Put tarot into your everyday, whether it's in the morning, whether it's in the middle of the day, whether it's at the end of the day, and then ask yourself, how am I feeling when I'm asking myself how I'm doing? How am I feeling when I'm getting that clarity? How am I feeling when I get that confirmation? Because when you exercise that muscle and you finally see yourself work, it makes you feel more confident in it. It's like if you're working out and you want to hit a personal record and you're training for it, and you hit that personal record, you get that confirmation, everything aligns. It's like, dang, I've been doing all of this work and here's the benefit. That makes you want to go even harder, So let's say, for example, you pull a card in the morning that gives you an affirmation, and it's the exact affirmation that you need during your day, because maybe you have a hard day that's exactly speaking to that affirmation. When you go back at the end of the day and you just remind yourself, like, let me think about what I pulled this morning, you're going to be like, oh my God, this is exactly what I needed to do. Like, wow, that's crazy. Maybe I am intuitive. Maybe I do have some gifts. And you'll feel like that a little bit more every time you're able to do that. And the cards don't lie. The cards don't lie. Whatever comes up, whatever it brings out, it does not lie. If it makes you afraid, then you got fear going on. If it makes you see stuff, then you got some stuff after you. You need to do some protection. You need to do some cleansing work. You need to talk to God. Whatever it brings up for you, it was there already. It just brings it to the light. So put tarot into your everyday routine, and then just, observe how you feel. Observe how you feel when you're connecting with your intuition, and be consistent with it. It's something you have to do consistently. This has been a part of my full-time job for the last 4 years. Me doing readings and being a spiritual mentor has been something I have not put down for the last 4 years. So, I've been doing it consistently. You have to do it consistently. If you really want to be able to track the progress of something, or even track how you feel, you want to be able to do it consistently. So that's something to be mindful of. Also, next, are your messages being confirmed? How do you feel your messages show up for you during the day? Do you feel your messages show up days later? Do you feel like it happens on the same day? If so, why is that? Are you the type of person, because typically, if you're the type of person that stresses and obsesses over a message, God may wait for you to forget that message to bring it up to you. So you may get a message like, oh, your soulmate is on the way. And you may think about your soulmate for 4 months. And the 1 week you spend not thinking about your soulmate, they're going to pop up into your life. That's how stuff happens. So connecting with your intuition and figuring out how long it takes for those things to be confirmed, seeing that, it might let you know, okay, maybe I spend too much time worrying, or maybe I spend too much time getting ready for my manifestation. Maybe if I would have gotten ready, because how many of us have said, oh, I'm going to try to meet new friends, and then you don't go out until 3 or 4 months later, but when you go out, you meet a bunch of new friends. And you're like, dang, I should have been did this. Yeah, hello. That's what our intuition teaches us. That's how we're going to be able to see our intuition work in real time, because your intuition is also a frequency. When you're aware of something and you know it and you can trust it and relax in it and be calm in it, it brings it into your life that much faster. When you know something and you know it's yours, you have it. That's all you have to do. When you know it and you know it's yours, you have it. And sometimes it takes just not stressing over it, or getting to the point where you're like, you know what, I'm just not going to think about this anymore, or whatever it takes. Maybe leaving something else happening so it distracts you, but you keep doing the routine or whatever it may be. That always lets you know how much you're able to trust what you're able to see, if you're able to be patient, if you're able to deal with ego, if you're feeling like, I keep getting readings about this, but when it's coming, you might want to do a little ego work. You might want to get into your ego and figure out why you think you're too good to wait. Why you think you're too good to, wait on what's next, or why you think you don't need to prepare for what's next. Why you think you seeing the money mean you need to get the money today. What have you done to prepare for the money? Are you greedy? Are you entitled? Do you feel like God owes you something because you've been through trauma? Hello? All of that is affecting your intuition, okay? So when you're able to literally, like I mentioned, this is about breaking down the tarot experience. And the tarot experience is, I have a question, I'm going to pull the cards, I'm going to get an answer. What am I going to do with that? That whole process, every step of that process is going to show you so much about your intuition. It's going to show you, again, like I mentioned before, what's weak, what you need to amp up, what you need to move around. It's going to let you know the full tea. So get into it. And the last thing that I have here is, what perspectives are changing for you? So in the beginning of reading tarot, you may ignore a lot of red flags, Well, let me give this example. let's say you used to be the type of person that saw a red flag and you ignored it, and you've been through pain of ignoring the red flags. You know what happens when you see a red flag and you ignore it. Now you're at the point where you see a red flag and you leave immediately, and you're able to trust, I know I did the right thing. That's what you should experience, that grace, that comfort, that security in knowing that you did the right thing and trusting that red flag and trusting your own judgment. That's what you should experience with your intuition as you read your cards more, as you practice more, as you step more into intuitive spaces. You know, maybe in the beginning you saw the death card and you was like, ooh, oh, I don't know about this. Or you saw the tower and you were like, oh my God, I don't know about this. But you gave yourself a little bit of time now. You've been reading more, you've been researching more, you've been practicing more. And now when you pull those cards, it means something different to you. You know, you see the death card and you get excited because you know things that no longer serve you are coming to an end. You know, the things that are ready to be gone are going to be gone. You know that a new day is beginning, because in tarot, there is no good and there is no bad. And in life, there is no good and there is no bad. It's something that I've really learned throughout tarot and throughout this journey. This spiritual journey has completely changed me. It's made me think so much differently about life, about death, about past lives, about the meaning of life. Just knowing, knowing that the tower moment, people being, thrown out of a burning building into an ocean, things being broken down is the same as reconstruction. It happens in the same breath of reconstruction. Knowing that death and life are simultaneous. Knowing that sometimes heartbreak and great healing is simultaneous. Knowing that sometimes being betrayed and being set free is simultaneous. That's made me feel so much differently about letting people go, about, doing hard things. Taught me that bad things are never in the absence of something good, even if I don't physically know that good. It taught me that there's always something spiritual at play, that there's always something bigger at play. And that's how you should feel when you continue to connect with your intuition. You should feel like there's something bigger than you, and you should have comfort in that. You should know that even in the face of grief, of death, of betrayal, of loss, there's an opportunity for something new. There's not one tarot card that is straight loss. Even the cards like the 10 of Swords, where somebody is literally laid dead on the cards, full of knives. You know what that card represents? The end of struggle. This person has obviously gone through a great battle. They've been stabbed in their back 10 times, but now they're dead. They're gone. They're finished. Their journey is done. And now they're starting a new journey where there is no more pain. There is no more struggle. There is no more hardship. There is no more frustration. Everything that they needed to possibly happen so they could go into this next space has happened. They've gone through the trauma. They've gone through the pain. It's done. It's finished. It's over it. And now they're about to ascend into a new space. That's beautiful. That's a message that we all can relate to. Being to a point where you have been backstabbed, where you have been disrespected, where you have been made to feel like a fool, where you feel like everything is coming down on you at once, and now it's done. It's over. It's coming to an end, and something new is beginning. That is a beautiful, powerful message. And also, too, when you see a card like that, especially when you're reading cards for people, sometimes they may be like, ooh, I don't know about that. And then you can give them a message of hope. And they're like, okay, the tower moment, that kind of spooked me at first, but now what you're saying is kind of making sense. I feel like that is your intuition. That spooked me at first, but it's making sense. That scared me at first. I wasn't going to be pulling no cards again at first, but now it makes sense. How many of us have pulled cards and got a reading you didn't want, and then when it confirmed itself and you were like, oh, this wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Okay. And you started pulling them cards again. That's how a lot of us feel about our gifts, and that's not good. God didn't give you your gifts so you could just, what you thought you got your gifts for? To live in La La Land? We still on Earth, Bookie. La La Land is not here yet. We still on Earth. You didn't get your gifts to just live La Vida Loca and know what you're supposed to do, when it's gonna rain, how you need to wear your hair, where your man at, where your friends at, what you're supposed to do, where the money at. That's not what you got your gifts for. Knowledge comes with the good and bad. Wisdom comes with the good and bad. Your intuition comes with things that you want to do and things that you like, Lord, please don't make me do this. That's the name of the game. That's the name of the game. You have to commit to continuing to show up. You have to commit to saying, I'm not going to be afraid of my gifts. I'm not going to be afraid of what it is. And just because you have gifts don't mean nothing. You're still going to be broke. You're still going to get your heart broken. You're still going to go through hardships. People are still going to betray you. Don't think that stepping into your gifts means that your life is going to be so much easier. If anything, it's going to be rougher because now you know the truth. Now you know the truth. And a lot of times we get into tarot, we get into these things, and we're like, oh, all of this was happening to me, this was happening to me, this was happening to me. You know the truth now. You know the truth now. You know? If you were telling yourself there's no demons in the world, there's no darkness in the world, and you got into this tarot willy-nilly, I'm sure you did have some scary-ass nightmares. I'm sure you did have something creeping and crawling in your corner in the middle of the night. Because who do you think you are? Thinking that ain't nothing evil in the world. You know? Whatever you thought you knew about the world, stepping into any spiritual practice is going to reveal it to you. It's going to reveal what you thought you knew. And a lot of us have this perspective that pain lasts forever, that breakups mean we'll never find love again, that sorrow is just sorrow. Sorrow is not just sorrow. Grief is not just grief. You know, grief is not just grief. Some people say that the grief that you have, the immense grief that you have for somebody represents how much you love them. It represents how much you love them, how long you grieve. And I think that's very, very true. You know, I know people that I lost, and I'm going to grieve with them for the rest of my life. Because when they were in my life, I was ready to love them for the rest of my life, you know. Anything that you're prepared to love the rest of your life, you will eventually have to grieve it forever as well. And unfortunately, that's just life. You know, I didn't want to end this on a dark note, but the gag is that stepping into these gifts makes you accept darkness. It makes you respect darkness. It makes you respect death. It makes you respect the breakup. It makes you respect, you know, saying goodbye to people that you love, because you know what's in that. You know that it's not just punishment. You know that it's not just showing to you or proving to you that life just sucks. You know that there's something deeper in that for you that is going to release you and free you and set you up to step into something that you've been waiting to step into. Okay, guys, it's actually been a minute since I had to edit and add something in, but I think it's important to mention that I am not saying that something good is necessarily going to come from grief. What I mean is that sometimes we have to be broken by grief and broken by our disappointment and our failure. Sometimes we have to be broken to put ourselves together and become a different person. And when you step into these gifts, you are obviously aware of what needs to break inside of you, you know, and sometimes you're holding on to certain things because you know when you let it go, you're not going to be able to be the same again. That's what I necessarily mean. It's not always something good. Everything doesn't happen for a reason. Now, I'm not one of those people that says that, but I do think that sometimes in our brokenness, we become a new version of ourselves that, you know, we need to be. And unfortunately, we have to be broken to get to that space. So yes, guys. I think that tarot is an incredible tool to help you strengthen your intuition and work with your intuition and know more about life and know more about the world and just unlock your gifts. I definitely think that, you know, it's all about intention, as I always say, and you can see more about my tarot journey, specifically if you want to, in my video that I titled Why I Stopped Using Tarot Cards. But I appreciate you guys and I thank y'all. Let me know how you feel about this video. Let me know if there are some things that you're kind of picking up on that you can kind of, you know, resonate with that you've experienced on your tarot journey. Again, if you want to learn tarot from me and really, really become a tarot reader, because y'all know I don't play. My tarot course is unlike any other tarot course out there. Y'all know I don't play. If you want to get into it, check down below in the description box to see the full tea and get your course. I send them out literally automatically unless you order in the middle of the night. But unless you order in the middle of the night, you will have your course the same day and you'll be able to get into the videos, the guided meditation, the full guide and everything. And again, you have the material forever, so you'll always be able to tap into it. So yes, I love you guys. I thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. And I will see you guys next time. Bye guys. Bless.